He's a former member of Zathu Band, now a solo artist and a producer.
Yes.
He has got 3 albums to his name.
Yes.
Said Praise, amakwenda kuimba nyimbo zodandaula.
Mostly people relate so much quicker to pain than they will to happiness.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's another Wednesday back on your dial. This is the Lab 20 podcast. My name is Dennis Iman, and we're here for another real conversation with a real person. Welcome to Podcast Praise.
Thank you very much.
For those that are wondering, today we're going to go around the calendar. I'm sure. Because we know we have done before April, we've done September, we're into August. What that means, we'll find out. But I'm sitting down with a guy who I think lives by the calendar. That's what I've discovered of you. But just a quick rundown of who Praise is, at least from what I found, is he's a former member of Zathu Band, now a solo artist and a producer.
Yes.
He has got 3 albums to his name.
Yes.
September was the first one. What We Become, and now 20-somethings.
Yeah, bo.
Right? You have done key collaborations with Teresa Pondo recently, my favorite track,
All
Pray
right.
For Me. You have collaborated with Gwamba, Faith Mussa, and Tio Nason.
Yeah.
And you have also done collabs with KOK, Zeze, Onesmus.
Yeah. Ella Njuchi, Driemo, Saint.
And Saint. Well collaborated. And you are now into your 20-somethings. Or we are past the 20-somethings.
We're almost out of them.
Out of it.
Almost.
Okay, so let's start there. Let's start with how I followed you. I knew you from Untaya Zathu.
Yeah.
We've seen you do your music, grow, do the Zathu drama,
Yes.
and kind of transform. I don't know, but yeah, kind of transform.
Yeah.
Take me through your transformation journey from Zathu, when you were with Zathu, because that's how people knew you,
Yeah.
to who you are today.
So fun fact, in Zathu, I was rapping. I used to be a rapper. And the funny thing is, when Zathu was coming along, it was in a time when I already wanted to stop rap and get more into singing. And we did auditions at Zathu. Everyone in Zathu auditioned as a singer. They only got to find out that I used to rap when they had already taken me to be part of the band. And then they were like, oh, we could actually use that kind of a character within this group. So I started rapping more again, writing raps for the group and stuff like that. And then I think I did Zathu for close to 3 years. And then I went out into my solo career. So I think a lot of growth for me came within that time I was within Zathu, because with my contract then I could not release my own music. So I think I used that time to discover myself, to think about what kind of an artist I want to be when I'm done with this, what kind of music I want to put out, what kind of sound and all of that. So I think that time was really good, because I was just experimenting over and over to try and find myself, try and find my sound. And then I think by the time I wanted to release my music, which was even almost, I think over a year after I had left Zathu, is when I released my first single. And yeah, I think that's when the journey started. That was in 2020. That's when I released my first single after Zathu, and here we are now, about 5 years later.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what your first single was.
Proud.
Proud, yeah.
Na.
Yes.
That's the one.
Yes, yeah. Actually, I think it became a favorite, yeah, and Hambili, and I think that's where a lot of people started following you now as, oh, there's Praise. The only thing that I heard was you were a gospel artist. that time when you became a solo artist, do you consider yourself as a gospel artist or because I see this confusion time and again.
Yeah, I think it comes back often, mostly on social media when people are debating whether I'm a gospel artist, secular artist. And for me, fun fact is I've never, when I started my solo career, before Zathu, I was in a rap group called Beautiful Minds, and we were doing like Christian hip hop and stuff like that. And then because I'm a Christian, I think my music resonates with also me being a Christian. Like there's a part of me that I do not hide, and that is the part that I am a Christian. So I do make music that resonates with me as a Christian and also music that resonates with me as a person. So for example, I could tell you making a song like Kutieni.
Yeah.
You find the Christian folk will be like, I'm not just saying about gospel. And then, they find a track that comes like Mugadalita. They're like, oh, no, do a gospel and everything like that. But then for me, I'm a Christian and I make music. So I make music that resonates with me as a person and as a Christian.
And mostly, I think when you give out my interviews, you have always described your music as a meal of your experiences. Yes. And sometimes when I listen to your music, I also ask the same, okay, Zmena Maimbas, where does it come from? Okay, like from your first album, there were tracks that you listen to them, you go like, okay, was it just you working on your pen game and say, okay, this is how I'm gonna say this story, or it's something that you know for sure, but when I heard you said it's a meal of your experiences, I wanted to find out more,
Yeah.
Can we go through these experiences? And one of them is what I was saying, your love for months and trying to do everything. There's always like a month attached. You have your concerts before April. Actually, it's only this year that we've not done before April because we're doing August, the live experience. Okay.
So I think for me, using these months, I have, I'm obsessed kind of with the concept of time. And usually how we measure time in terms of days and stuff is, weeks, months, and I think it's months that have names. And for me, I started with September because number one, I was born in September. So for me, September is always a reminder to say there's growth, number one, and also to remind myself how far I've come. So the first album was titled September because for me it was a journey of self-discovery and reminding myself that this journey started in September, and every September I'm reminded of this journey to say we're still growing, but we've come so far, and it's always a reminder of that. So I think I kind of stuck to it a little bit. Actually, my second album, it was gonna be titled November, but then I changed it because of what the album talked about. It made sense with the title we gave it, which was What We Become. And but I'm still stuck to those months. That's why the concerts that we have in March are called Before April. And this time around, we have dubbed our concert August, the live experience, which is happening in August as well. And I think it's always for me to have that mark, because everyone is going to remember that we had this concert in August, and it was August. You know what I mean? Like something like that. So every time we do a concert that's before April, everyone is like, what's going to happen before April? You know what I mean? So it's always kind of begs the question, but also gets in your mind to say, yeah. And I think every September, my streams are, September goes up.
Goes up, I thought so. I thought so. Because every time I'm in September, I think I'm always reminded of September. Oh, Praise Umali. And then, somehow I'll go listen to the music. Talking about September and Proud being your first single after you became solo. Every time I listen to Proud, I ask myself, is this something that's real or was just a story? And somehow somebody said, I think that's a real story. Is that like a real story? Can you take me through Proud?
100%. It's 100% a real story. So when I have an older sibling, it's only the two of us, me and my older brother. And when my parents had my older brother, the doctor said my mom had some complications and she couldn't have another child. And they had to make sure she shouldn't have another child. So they did all the measures to make sure she doesn't get pregnant again. And then months later, my mom went to the hospital and said, I think I'm pregnant. And the doctor said, that's impossible. That's impossible. You can't be pregnant. It's probably just some hormones or something, but then you can't be pregnant. She came again after like 2-3 weeks, and she was like, I think I'm pregnant. They were like, no, it's impossible. Trust us. There's no way that you can be pregnant. And then she came again after a couple of weeks. She was like, I need you to run a test and make sure that I'm not pregnant, because I've been pregnant before. I know what this feels like. Exactly. So they ran the test and found out she was actually pregnant. And then the doctors were like, you cannot survive this, and the baby cannot survive this with issues that you have. So the best bet is we make sure that at least you stay alive. And then my mom was like, you made sure that I don't get pregnant, yes? And they were like, yes. And I'm pregnant. She was like, yeah. She was like, then I'm keeping it. Then this child has to be here. And they advised against it so many times, and then they actually called my dad separately. They said, your wife is not listening to us. We're trying to advise her to say, she's gonna die, and the baby's gonna die as well. We're trying to save her life. And then my dad was like, did you tell her she was gonna die? And then they were like, yeah, we did. And then he was like, okay, it's her life. If she wants to keep it, she'll keep it. I cannot force her to do something. And then months later, I was born, bouncing baby boy, and my mother was also fine. And it's how the song starts, where I go like, I wouldn't tell what made you more happy, Dad. Was it that I was here, or that Mama came out alive? Yeah, because the doctor said it from the get-go, said it wasn't healthy for you. You know how the song goes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, I listened to that song like I'm being I say until and I was like, okay. Oh wow. Okay, interesting. Yeah. That's one thing that I've actually just discovered, like when I was just preparing for this interview. Like I never knew that was like a real story. Yeah,
it's actually a very true story. I write so close to my experiences all the time.
Yeah, I see. And talking about like your type of music and the way you write, because it's like a lot of these stories that come through, how do you actually go about bringing the stories from whatever happened to...
I think, okay, for me, how I write, like, I think I can give an example. Throughout this year, there's been so many experiences for me up until this point. And when I get into the studio and I want to come up with something, I usually go with feeling rather than just, because you know, sometimes it'll just be, oh, there's this thing, let me just start writing, or let me just get this beat and start writing. I go with feeling, and most times I do have like a catalog of ideas in my notes where I think I'm gonna write a song about such subject at some point, or this subject at some point. And like, for example, 20-somethings is something that I started working on probably the beginning of last year before What We Become came out. And I just knew what I wanted to talk about within the album with what was going through in my life at the time. But then as time went by, you know, a lot of things still happen. You know, life is lifing. And what I usually do, I'll just keep some notes to say, I want to write about this at some point. Like, for example, the song Dear Daughter. I've always wanted to write a song around Dear Daughter. I just didn't know exactly what it would be when I finally write it. And then it will happen, say, sometimes I'm in the studio, I'm playing the guitar, something, and then if I feel like this for me speaks this, I'm gonna start writing on it, maybe using that guitar progression or something, or sometimes it'll even be me listening to music, or I'm watching a movie, and sometimes inspiration just hits. And I'm like, oh wait, I have an idea for that idea that I kept in my notes. Maybe I could try something like this, I could try something like that. So it's always different routes in terms of the writing, and sometimes it'll be some other producer maybe threw me a beat, and I'm just like, oh, wait, I love what this sounds like. It makes me feel like this. So I'm gonna write based on that feeling. And what topics I want to talk about.
Cool, I like your creative process and whatnot. I don't want to focus one bit in like the messages and your specific songs.
Yeah.
But somebody said, Praise, amakonda kuimba. Where's there, Vin? He said, Praise, amakonda kuimba nyimbo zodandaula kapena zachikondi. Hey, when we were coming, Praise, amakonda kuimba nyimbo zodandaula kapena zachikondi. What motivates you to like just apart from the rest of the songs? Actually, when you listen to them,
yeah.
And I kind of agreed because there was a time in my life where I made your music more like my soundtrack, but it was because of the things that I was going through and the decisions that I was making, and they made sense in that moment mostly.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to push?
Okay, funny thing. If you actually do go through my catalog, yes, there is that music, but I'll tell you this, the majority is not that. Koma, what sticks to people is what they relate to. And mostly people relate so much quicker to pain than they will to happiness. So, in my college, I'll give you an example, like the song I did with Mike Mash, Ntima.
Yes.
Azagusu Ntima.
Azagusu Ntima, yeah.
That song went so quickly on TikTok, and it was crazy because how that song came about, I was mixing, on my producer side, I was mixing and mastering Mike Mash's project some night, and we were together. The project, To the Moon and Back, he released an EP earlier this year. So we were mixing and mastering. So it was just me and him in the studio, and this was around 2 a.m. So I'm telling him, I'm like, hey, need a break. Let's take like 30 minutes. Let's just chill. I need my ears to rest for a bit. So we're just chilling, and then I'm like, you know what? What if we just create another song for your project? And then he's like, yeah, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, Kaya. So we just start playing around in the studio. I'm with my guitar, I'm playing. And then I'm like, you come up with a concept. You tell me what we should talk about. So Mike Mash goes like, Karma knows your name. And I was like, yeah, but then what does that mean? Like, okay, yes, we talk about karma, but karma is gonna come for you, whether it's 20 years from now or whatever, but karma always has a way to find you. And then I was like, yeah, but what context? So it was like, how about we talk it in the context of love, like if you do someone wrong or something. So I start playing around, and I start with a melody like, I start going on about, and then we start finding the words. And then I remember when we got to the point where I wrote that line and I was like, yo, this is too much. I was like, this is too much. Mike Mash is like, nah, we're putting it in there. We wrote that song, and by 5 a.m., we have a full song written. Okay. We all went to sleep at around 5 a.m. Woke up, I mixed and mastered that song. In the afternoon, we started scouting for locations for a video. Next day, we shot the video. It was released 2 days after that video came out.
Did that come out on Valentine's Day?
It was, I think, a day after Valentine's Day.
Day.
Yeah. I think it was a day after Valentine's Day. And then, like, it just went crazy. And a lot of people received that song. And not because people will relate quicker and they'll remember quicker the time that they had pain than the time that they were happy. It's why even sometimes my psychiatrists and stuff, when they talk about depression, they say it's so hard to get out of depression because what it does to you sometimes, it makes you forget that you were once happy and you can be happy. So yes, I do write that kind of music, but I also write it from my own perspective of experience. And it's sometimes also because you connect so much more to pain, it'll be easier to write that quicker and to relate to it quicker. Like you can just pour your heart out easily, I guess, than the times that you're happy. But I do have happy songs.
Okay. Yeah, because one of the comments that he made, we're playing music from your latest album, and he literally just said, "Hey, come on, kaza mena na Mussa Ntima pray," and it was like that's a person, and they're like, He was like, yeah, I told you, I'm going to also Tima, to so and all that. Oh, okay. So part of that is like real experience. You have issues with love?
I mean, I've loved before. I've been heartbroken before. I have broken hearts before. I've been on all ends of that spectrum. So I just write from that kind of perspective. So I think that comment has been going on a lot on Facebook and TikTok, and it's because of the song Nkadzago Ndanso.
Yeah, that was the one that we played. And when I played it, he like, that was But you know, the funny thing is, that song, initially when I wrote it, was an all-out love song. And it had a twist. So it was still the same of Nkadzago Ndanso, mzandi tsine nkono, mzandi dzuse, amene osine. Nkadzago Ndanso, mzandi gunyuzego, mzandi dzuse, amene osine. And that's how the song started. The first verse was still the same, where I'm talking about meeting somebody new, and then I'm like, I really do like you, but I've been hurt before. And even if I told my friends that I like you, they're not gonna believe me, because I told them, guys, if I ever fall for somebody again, wake me up. So I know my friends wouldn't let me fall in love, because they'll be like, hey, boss, calm down. You know what?
You know what I mean? Exactly. So I think, you know, we've all been in situations where we'll tell our friends, hey guys, this isn't Kazabangaso, hey, mzani menye, msazandi lole. And then the second verse initially of that song was me continuing the story of this girl that I met. And we start dating, and we get to a point where I want to marry her. And my vows on the altar were the same as before, to say, Nkadzago Ndanso, mzandi dzuse. But now I'm telling her to say, if I ever love anybody, that's not you, mzandi dzuse. That was the initial song. Then I just flipped it. I think I wrote that last verse like 2 weeks before the album release. I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm not making this a happy song. Flip it. So that's when we changed it. But yeah.
I see. Listening to your music, and also commentary that people usually say about you.
Yeah.
You come from a group that made a whole lot of noise. You guys were superstars before you went your separate ways. Zathu Band was a big project.
Yeah.
And everybody was expecting still a lot more from the team.
Yeah.
And in your solo careers, everybody is doing their thing. And I know a lot of comparisons of who is doing what and who is not doing what.
Yes.
But just listening to people talk about you and how they have seen you grow from the rapper in Zathu to this soulful Afro, I don't know what else you call it. And people comparing you now to John Drill, for example. How does that make you feel? And with all the expectations that people have, how do you handle all that to make sure that you always kind of deliver? Because it looks like the 3 albums that you have put out, people have been hugely impressed. I don't know feedback, but just from seeing what people say about you.
I think to start Kumambiriro, when I've released projects like songs, singles, that time, like with September, like I released, I think 2 singles, Proud and You Be Good. And every comment that came after each single, after Proud came out, they're like, oh, this is so good. Let's see if he can top this. Then came You Be Good. And then the comments were, okay, we're expecting that he might not, deliver again, but let's see what he does. Then I put out the whole album, and people were like, oh, this is a really good album and everything. Then I announced the second album. People were like, but you can't top September. It can't happen. What We Become came out. People were like, oh no, this is actually good. This is actually good. And then, it was now mixed comments where people are like, oh no, but September is better. What We Become is better, all of that. But then for me, it's still a journey. I'm growing and experiences are different. The sound is also growing. And then when I announced this album, the comments even before the album came out were still, I don't think he can top the previous album.
And I think one of the reasons why people thought maybe this third one might not be as the other two was maybe because you have done a lot of collabs, Pagadiaba.
Yes, true.
Of which they have not been like your typical genre. Sound, yeah, praise. Okay, that's praise. You are on Kutieni with Keoke and Zeze. You are on with Gwamba, Mugadalita, and
Plan was
yours. Yeah, Mugadalita. So it was like, okay, it's more like a different sound.
Yeah.
He might now drift towards sound.
Towards what
now.
people are
I think
doing.
he was popular because I know when the second album came out, I had people that were basically saying, "Oh, there's this new artist, Praise."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Wait, which new artist?" Like, this guy called Praise. I'm like, Praise Umali. Like, yeah. No, he has an album. I'm like, no, but he has been around. That's his second album.
Yeah.
And for mainly the elder generation, did not even know would he praise you. The guy anali Mussa. So it's like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, he's been around.
Yeah.
The third one, Ali Samelody, he would drift towards.
Yeah, I think a lot of people expected me to go more mainstream and, just do, stuff that sound mostly like singles, good and hafuna, a banger for something and stuff like that.
Going for the hits,
going for
the bangers,
hits. Yeah, but I think like I said in the beginning of our conversation, I go based off of feeling. I love, like, okay, when I listen to music, it makes me feel a certain way. It can shift my mood. It can make me feel happier. It can make me feel sad. But it all depends on, everything that's been put to cook that song. And when I'm making music, I'm feeling a certain way. And if I start to write a song, what I'm thinking in my head is how I'm feeling now. I want Dennis to feel the same way if he listens to it. So how am I going to write this? What melodies am I going to use? What instruments are going to even carry this message for you to feel the same way that I'm feeling? So I'm usually thinking around all of that. And even when you talked about the older generation, I think after September, or I should say after What We Become, is when the traction started coming in. People would say, oh, Praise Umali, Kulijani. And I had a friend call me, some friend of mine, he called me, he stays in Blanta. He was like, I passed by my boss's office. He is singing out loud Kondaide. And I thought he's in headphones or he's listening to something. Koma, he's actually just singing it. He's not even listening to anything. Like, he knows the song. And his boss was like, I think he's like in his 60s. And I was like, oh, those guys are listening to my music. Yeah. That's actually quite eye-opening as well. Because for me, age group, I think people that would listen to my music, be that 13 to somewhere like 40, you know what I mean? They would relate. But then I found out that there was actually even a lot in the older generation listening to my music. And even at my listening session, I had people that I was like, oh, these people came for me. Because with the listening session, it's usually more intimate. I talk to people. And there was this couple that, this guy, he was like, I stay in the UK and I listen to your music a lot. And I think he's also in his 60s. He's like, and I saw your flyer. I said, I'm gonna make it to this. I want to actually see him play live. And, it's crazy because you're only influencing your age mates, a group of, but then music is a universal language. And for me, there's always pressure to deliver again. But then I think that's with every creative, because if you create a certain masterpiece, people need to be like, yeah, we want to see what he's going to do after this. So yeah, and you mentioned Johnny Drill. I love Johnny Drill. I want to work with Johnny Drill at some point. At some point last year, we were planning on bringing him to Malawi. But hopefully it's going to happen soon enough. I love that guy. I would want to be on stage with that guy. Right? Yeah.
No, at least you're bringing us Amanda Black this time around. So
and I love Amanda Black. Funny thing, Amanda Black has only come to Malawi once.
Yeah.
2019 Lake of Stars.
Yeah.
She came, and I want to remind her this actually when she's here. I remember telling her in 2019, I was like, I'm going to call you for my show at some point in my, I don't know when, but you're going to come to Malawi. I'm going to invite you for one of my shows. And this is 6 years later, it's finally happening. So I'm actually very, very excited about it.
No, looking forward to that, and we'll talk about it. There was a time I met someone, and we're having a conversation about artists and whatnot. And then there was a conversation about your music. So when we played it, he said, no, that's not praise, that's manifest. And we had a whole back and forth, like, okay, who is manifest, who is praise Umali? So I actually figured out, okay, there's like a whole thing going on that people know you as manifest. Who is manifest?
Okay, so Manifest is my company name. That's I have a media company. I am a producer, so we do audio-visual production. So I do produce both audios, like music or whatever audios that people want to produce, and I also do videos. Like if you have seen my videos, it's mostly my editing work, and I have I'm a director. I edit, I color grade, all of that. So Manifest is my company. But you know how in Malawi you hear trick beats.
Yeah,
and you know,
because that's what he said. Before he was like, no, listen to his songs. Before each song starts playing, there's manifest.
Yeah, so that's the company name. It's like a tagline, the same way you hear Suspense on the Board, the same way you hear Tricky Beats or Red Disc Music, you know, those taglines that producers usually put, or Nyanda made it, and all of that. So it's a tagline for my music studio. So I have been producing for over 10 years. And it's one of those things where people that knew me from way back knew me as a producer. And because of that gap I had with Zathu, like the 3-year gap of not releasing any song, mostly people knew me as just a producer because I was producing a lot of people's music. So most people would be like, oh, no, the Manifest. I know, Ndujene. But then I tried. I think Panova it's better now because I wanted to make sure that the brand, my company, stays away from brand, Praise Umali. Because I think business-wise, what happens is if somebody comes to Manifest and they think Manifest in the Praise Umali, if they find another producer working, they'll be like, my trust issues don't die. Are you going to deliver? But like for my company, we have a couple of people working, not just myself. So I need to make sure that the brands are separate. So there's still that confusion. And I think in Gwamba last year, Chifugwa, even Nikos did not know. Okay. Because he knew there's Manifest, because he knew there was Praise Umali. And Excess in my years are now. Excess calls me one day, random day, out of the blue. I say, kuna antawanga Manifest in the Praise Umali, if you do good mazi, and this is Excess. I've known Excess for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Ndineo. And Excess is like, what do you mean Ndineo? All those songs that, have been produced, Kelvin sings, Beraga, that's like, that Manifest tagline. I'm like, yeah, that's me. And he's like, there's no way. Then why don't you promote it? I was like, no, Manifest, I'm going to promote my Manifest. I cannot go on my Praise Umali page and start talking about Manifest because those are two different brands. I mean, I can, but I needed to make sure I separate these brands first because if they just put my face to the name of Manifest, I will lose business. And that very same day, it was in Abanga Post. Then I'm going to Manifest. I got a video, Manifest, directed by Manifest, edited by Manifest, Manifest. It's Praise Umali. DM Yanga Nazas, I'm going to be my upcoming artist. That day. How much is the session at your studio? Now they knew. They knew. They knew. So now it was lots of traffic. And also you can't bite more than you can chew. That's why I was also keeping it on the low to make sure I'm getting work that I can be able to manage.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It was like, now I was like, no guys, but it was now that you were saying you even excess thought. Because I was like, I have a guy. You're just like bant, I'm going to joke, like you don't know Manifest is part of you. I was like, no, Manifest the and they were like, oh, these other guys like said, no. There's Praise Umali and there's Manifest. So it was like a whole confusion, So I was like, okay. All right, perfect. When it comes to music and friendships, there's always, I don't know, it's not tension, but there's always circles that people bundle you in.
Yeah.
There was a time that people used to bundle you in, you are in a circle, yeah, suffix. So there's suffix, there's you, there's KBG, like in your circle. I think that's why a lot of us thought you are a gospel artist, because there are all these gospel
shows that I was at.
Yeah, because they are always like in those bookings with these guys. But of late, you are seen more with Gwamba, Migmash, KOK.
Yeah.
How do these bundles work? How do these bundles work? And how do you, as a musician and friends, balance your things? Because there are some people that will actually say, we cannot work in down how good because easy. And in the same vein, okay, as in a KBG gospel artist, so we cannot book our, we will show our. You have been able to go, we still go,
I still go.
What's the... I don't know. How do you handle that?
Okay. I think from the outside looking in, yes, Sima niggas just already but I can tell you something like, while Suffix was still in Malawi, FIFA, Suffix, Gwamba, okay, we're all together playing FIFA. Like, within the industry, there's actual friendships and then there's also acquaintances. Even within I'm being associated more with, let's say, Gwamba, KOK, Mike Mash, Charisma, all of those. I'm much more closer to Mike Mash because me and him go a long way. Now, these are the guys I'm still friends with, but we know you're closer to this person or you're closer to this person, but we're all cool. And my groups or my show, everyone is cool to my Chanchani. And I think for the issue of let's say my bookings within my shows, like I said, I'm a Christian. And I think you find it in my music, even within my albums, where you find me talking about God, and I don't hide it. And even church, I'm part of our praise team, my praise team, and usually there's always, I don't know if I should call it backlash, which usually comes to say, Commando Jenny, do I gospel or blues, do I Jenny, and there's been so much of that for me over these years, but I still do what I need to do. I know what's in my heart. I know my place, and I make music for the people. So, me being a Christian, I will go to a gospel show and I will deliver what's needed there because I am a Christian and I have such music that also resonates with that. And also me being just a musician and an artist, I make music that I'll go there. And Gubiera and the guy be separate for me, and I got now. Because best believe there's Christians in that crowd too, and they also resonate to the same music. So for me, I think I fit in just fine either way.
Okay. And the backlash that comes with church, haven't you ever been invited for a conversation with the pastor? I know, but brother, I think you're creating confusion mainly with the young people because they bluesy.
Actually, I've never had that. So yeah.
All right, I heard from some people, there's always rumor on the streets about this.
Honestly, there's always rumors about that. There'll be rumors about my relationship status, rumors about my life in general or where I've been, stuff like that. There's always lots of stories going around. I get surprised sometimes. Hey, my guys, whoever's cooking up these stories should be a writer. Has to. I remember my boo. Because they're very creative sometimes.
Yeah, I know. In a woman van Hanis, okay. And now you also have to just acknowledge, okay, you think you know these people, but you don't know them like that. You probably just meet, but you wouldn't be there now to defend them.
Hey.
The defender would make
defender. Do I really know what the truth is? There's also, yeah.
That's the thing. But you don't know. They might know the truth. Yeah. I would want us to talk about your upcoming events. But before that, just also looking at your growth. I know with Zathu you traveled, but recently you had been out for several months, 2 months or so.
Yeah.
You were, was it Netherlands? Okay.
Yeah, I was in the Netherlands.
What did you go to do?
So there was this summer program that was happening at Whistlewood Studios. It's one of the biggest studios out there. And I attended this summer program. And then after the summer program had ended, I was lucky enough to still be a part of the team, and I got on their team to work with different artists, different producers. So because I do both, I'm a producer, I'm a writer, I'm a singer. There were some projects that I worked as a producer, some I worked as just, singing where somebody already wrote songs, some where I was writing and recording, some where I was just writing. So it was actually a pretty good experience. Like I learned a lot. And I think people could actually hear the difference if, they have an ear for music, Kwambiri. From my first album, September, to what we become, production-wise, sound-wise, I think there was a lot of growth that happened within that. So yeah, I owe most of it still to that time that I had there, learning and just experiencing what it's like on like the international level of production, writings, and all of that.
Okay. How did you get the opportunity? Was it something that you...
Something that I came across online. At the time, I was dating a Dutch woman. And so it was actually quite convenient because I was visiting her and I was also working on this. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know that you have dated in Zungu. That room I didn't
Oh no, that one went around a long time actually.
I might have been hibernating through because that one I didn't hear.
No, that one actually still goes around.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're no longer dating because you said I was.
Yeah. We parted ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's dive into the whole album. You had a listening party. I was unfortunate to come because me and the team had a very busy schedule that weekend. Yeah, we were all over with supporting our friends. I think there were like a couple of events that Zap 20 were suppliers. But I saw the reviews and also just some content that came out from there. Looked really dope. Good patronage and beautiful setting. Now we're talking about your upcoming concerts. What's the plan and why? You have already talked about how you met Amanda Black. So just break down what you are envisioning, and if somebody's watching or listening to this and they're still trying to make a plan about going to August or what's the plan?
I think for people that have followed me quite a while now, the shows that I curate with my team are usually shows mostly curated for big music lovers. And what I mean by that is people that could come and sit down and just listen to the music, if that makes sense. There's shows blues. I'll go sing, but then if I curate my own thing where I'm just looking for like 300-400 people, I want a show where I could be able to talk to the audience. When you're out, let's say, illusions, the connection is different, because at that point the connection is, I want to celebrate with you, have hype with you, let's have fun, let's dance, let's do everything together. But then with, the smaller audiences, you're able to connect more. They might be able to listen to these stories, like the story I've told you about Proud. I cannot stand on a stage festival and tell people, oh no, sin nagabadwa, magudi. There isn't that opportunity because that's not the stage to do that. So I've usually done these little shows for myself. I think the biggest we did was before April last year in Blantyre. I think it was the biggest show I've ever done. People came out, it was amazing, loved everything about it. And then this year, actually last year, we made a plan after before April. We're like, let's go big. Let's do something on a bigger scale for music lovers still. So how do we do that? We first had to think about a venue. And we're like, we need a venue where people can come, you know, older generation, younger generation, they can all come. If you want to sit, you can sit. If you want to stand, you can stand. I need to stand for hours and hours. So we're like, BICC Auditorium is actually the best. So how do we curate this? And we're like, we need to make sure we have the right music. We get the music out first. We made a plan for the album last year to say we're going to release an album max, I don't know if it's minimum or maximum, but at least it had to be 3 weeks before the concert. So we have done that. We've released the album about on the 25th. That's like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. And the concert is this Saturday. So we wanted to release new music, let people enjoy this, and then come to the concert and enjoy the first live experience of some of the new music and then the old favorites, songs that, you know, have been there. And also for us, it's a celebration of how far we've come. We feel like at this point we might be able to do something on a bigger scale, but still for music lovers. There's Antoda Maganiga Gubera show, let's say Andida Nangu. Show Inage, I can give an example, let's say Naga Imba Maselba. We're getting on stage around midnight, Maselba. And the main act hadn't performed as well, international act, and also the main act, Maselba, had not performed yet at midnight. And I know there are people that love Maselba, there are people that would love to see me or love to see me come with Gwamba on the stage, but they're not able to. It was like, I need to head back home because, you know, of some issues or whatever. Or even in my class, some people may not be able to come with their families and kids because they're like, environment maybe might not be curated for us. So we're like, let's curate something for both sides. And Hodi, they want to come with their family, they can come with their family, and nobody, security is guaranteed, it's indoors, atagutani, they have fun, and 11:30, they're back home. You know, something like that. So that was our idea of the kind of concert we wanted to create. So I told my manager, I was like, Amanda Black has been my dream to bring to Malawi. She has amazing music. I know maybe most people have not listened to her, but they're gonna be blown away. That is a fact. Yes. So we're like, let's try and bring Amanda Black. So we contacted her team, Gambirana, and they gave us a quotation and we're like, I think we can be able to do this. Let's speak to some sponsors here and there to know what we can also put forward ourselves and so that's when we started the preps. And then my team was like, okay, who else are we putting on the lineup? And I really love putting on people that I know have so much potential to take Malawi further, and also for us to put a spotlight on them as they're coming up. And there's Yanko. He's gonna put out his album, I think, this month as well. He's actually gonna be one of the acts that are performing on Saturday. There's Nathaniel Chalu Chalu, which I think people are aware of. I've heard his music. He was on Teddy's Naliera. Yep. Yeah. And then there's Magica Drum. Magica Drum is amazing. Yep. And she's gonna blow people away. I just know it. And she's such a gem that we've been kind of hiding in Malawi, and I want her on that big stage so that people can see what she can be able to deliver. And then we have Amanda, and then we have Praise Umali and friends. So it's gonna be me and all those friends that you've talked about on that stage.
Now, when you look at the lineup, you get the feeling that, okay, it's Amanda, it's Praise, and then Maggie, but then the names of all your friends were not missing, and people are like, so he has decided to ditch all his friends and he's doing a show just for himself. So I was like, is it like that? Are the people coming now that you have said it?
Yeah.
No, it makes
all
sense.
those friends are gonna be there.
Okay.
And we have very nice surprises lined up. Yeah.
Cool. You talked about planning and then going around to look for sponsors, which is one topic that I usually dive in. And I think we were talking about it off camera when we made area with Q and all that, how tough it is to actually get sponsorship in Malawi, mainly with the events. What was your experience like?
I've never done a show on this kind of scale. This is like our first big show. And we started reaching out to people way back. That was in May, I think that was in May. Yeah, we started reaching out to companies, organizations and stuff like that to see if they would be, willing to support us. And it's not the easiest, to be honest. In Makala, it's even better now. It's made and DQ, but it's even better now that companies, corporates are able to come in and say, we want to support the arts and entertainment industry, because now they recognize, the power of arts and culture and how we preserve our culture in our music, arts, whether it's like poetry, whatever it is that is in the arts and creative industry, we're using it to preserve our culture as Malawi. So I feel like the corporates are now entering in little by little. And my experience was, it's not as easy, because I can put it as, asking for support from a company is something that you need to understand in the first place, that you need them not as much as they need you. Yeah. So it's hard couldn't I say, Dennis, Tandiba say 50 vini. When was a 50 vini? In the Tamangistra Jage Yanchani, Commando Jageji, benefit then it will come to you. It's hard for you to take out 50 billion. So, to be honest, it's one of those things where I am grateful that companies, organizations are now willing to say, we want to work with you guys and also make sure that industry so it's a win-win. But we know Woody, they're also coming in as a big supporter of the arts. So it was a learning curve, because you also need to understand that as much as you need them, you need to come on the table with, okay, fine. If we do this for you, what are you going to do? What's in it for us? And then you need to start thinking, hey, what can I be able to give this organization? So now it's a matter of brainstorming. Okay, company or maybe directly. How can we work together on some other things and stuff like that, and just trying to figure your way out. Goody, you also at the end. When you guys have been doing Najag, yeah. So
and it looks like you've been I've seen your post with some dummy checkers.
Yeah,
the past weeks.
Yeah, Ekaya came in with 12 million. Ace Holdings Limited came in with 6 million, and then there was Lab 20. You guys who have helped, not just money, because you gave us money as well, like 3 million, and then on top of that, a lot of manpower and also some tech that we need to run the show. So yeah, a big shout out to you guys. Yeah. Oh wait, this is my camera. A big shout out to Lab 20.
Yeah, I know people have been discussing all the things about stage. How is the stage going to be? Okay, where are we going to be putting the LED screens to just create an amazing experience? And it's one of those things that I think we need to be doing as an industry. A few weeks ago, we were at the Maseba event also supporting here, and there's Lab 20. Yeah. And every time I sit down with people, and when people see these things, now they will be calling like, you just give drama. But now, I think the piece that they don't understand in the Imeno, it's not like a company will just wake up today and go around start saying, okay, there has to be value that the people bring to, and also, I think, who is your audience? Because it's not like every company wants to go to everyone.
Yes.
There are like people that you look at, okay, if we work with this person, appeals to these people, these are the people that if they see our name there, there's potential to say, what do these guys do? All they do is business. And I feel like people like this space where we're in today, Kweza, and with the experience that Q has trying to like look for sponsorship and partners for these things, we need to do a little bit more, mainly on Kutandi's the young artists, of which you are graduating from the same. You're saying this is your biggest show.
Yep.
And the experience tells you, I think next time I might be able to do this in this way, this way, this way.
Yeah.
But I think passing on the experience, because you just went in there and
they gave you money.
Came out of the door.
That was months of conversations. Yeah.
Okay. No, I think for our viewers, mainly the artists that are coming up and planning your events, when these things are out there, there's work to be done, guys. There's work, there's convincing that you need to do, and also proof of what you're going to do. And I think one of the biggest things is also being able to actually do it.
Yes.
When you say we're going to do A, B, C, D, being able to deliver your end of the line. Because, there have been instances where you support someone, they say, okay, we're going to post things into and thing happens and you don't see any of that. But yeah.
Because it's usually, one-sided. You've been helped, but then you're not giving back what you need to give back.
Exactly. Cool. No, we've been sitting here close to an hour now. Anything that you have ever wanted people to know about you, or you have always wanted to clear the air, please, and also anything to do with your show. After that, I'll give you just few questions that I just want.
Wow. Hey. Now that's a tough one. What do you? My phone. That's a tough one. But I think what I can say is we have a really good concert in store this weekend. It's going to be one of a kind. I think it's going to be one of those when you come to this concert, you're going to go back and say, in August we had August a live experience. We have curated a very good lineup and a very good set for people to enjoy, and I want people to come out. I want people to come with their families, come with their kids, they'll all have a good time, and definitely it'll be one for the books. So a ticket is 25,000 kwacha for standard ticket. If you want the VIP experience, it's 65,000 kwacha, and the VIP experience includes cocktail 1 hour before the show with the artists. So it's going to be a meet and greet, have photo shoots and stuff like that with all the artists and those friends of mine as well. So definitely.
No, thank you so much for putting up this experience on my birthday.
It's your birthday on 16th?
16th August. My birthday.
Double celebration.
And I've been thinking, what am I going to be doing on my birthday? And I think I didn't have any idea. It's a few days and I was blank until when I saw it, I was this could be the best thing to do on this day. Looking forward to it. I'm coming through with my family.
Awesome.
I might come through with Vincent and a mic and a camera so that we can capture moments. This Lab 20 is also part of the experience. But I'm looking forward to it. I interact with a lot of artists and spending my birthday around artists with my family, I think would be the coolest way to celebrate. Big fan of your music. Of which I think me and my family, except my daughter, relate to some of the stories. So looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Before we turn off the lights, how would you, if 20-somethings was a Malawian dish, what dish would it be? How would you describe it if you're telling somebody and you're using a dish?
Mpunga wa nyama. Mpunga wa nyama.
Mpude. Wapa, because umasiana. Waukwati meno ngomena wa nyama mweo umasiana.
Of course, fuka palikukwati kumabwela. Of course palikukwati ndeba leso kumaliyo. Kumabwela kabichi wina wakosiana.
Yes.
Kapikidwa kabichi wina jawo nkosiana. Mpunga wa nyama ndi kabichi wina jawo.
Okay. Cool. And any advice that you'd give yourself, your 20-something self. Let's say 21.
21.
You met yourself when you were 21. What advice would you give yourself today?
Take it easy. Don't be hard on yourself.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's so easy we lose sight of the amount of work that we've put in over the years. And every time we're, pushing hard. And, sometimes we're hard on ourselves, goody. We're not doing enough. But most of the times we're living in things that we prayed for at some point in our lives. And timaiwala majangu. Because, let's say Adenis Mugu, Pempela would amboye kalimoda inagi ngobere imozi. Chamate ala full. Muglavits. Muglavitsija. Mukala mamba kupusha ngini. Muglavitsija muona wuda vitsi. Ai, ambuye. Chamate ala full endo kumajikale kujamu mamba. You know what I mean? Mugula ranger. Mugula ranger ija. Your dreams still grow. Because at this point, when you have this, you forget that this is what you prayed for at some point. Yeah. So you do have it now and you're living in it. But because you're living in it, the dreams change. They get bigger and bigger. And sometimes, Jody, why am I not achieving this? You beat yourself up so much, doing so much, and which is fine, but then don't beat yourself up to a point where you're losing it, and you're losing yourself, and there's so much that is not now going as good in your life because you're trying to attain Zintunazage. Be grateful for what you have and where you are.
True.
Yeah.
So don't be hard on yourself and be grateful for all the things that are in your life. Live in the moment. And that's how we come to conclude our conversation with one of Malawian superstars. You still have a long way to go, I know, because you still have a lot of potential, but don't be too hard on yourself as well.
Of course, don't be.
I wish you all the success with the experience, 16th August, BICC, and looking forward to enjoying it all. Yeah. This has been the Lab 20 podcast. Like we said, this is Kweza, Africa. It's a creative and art space. There's a lot of things happening at Kweza. You can come through for your podcast, for your intimate performances. There's Kweza Basque on Sundays. There's just a lot. If you go on their Facebook page, you should be able to check out some of the things that happen here. Praise is a regular here. If you want to hang out with him, you can always come through. But this podcast would not be possible if Lab 20 Innovations did not come through for us with everything, and as well as Lab 20 tours and safaris. So for all your media needs, speak to us. The same thing with your travels, planning a trip around the country and everything. Speak to us and we'll be able to direct you to Lab 20 Innovations and Tours who make this podcast happen. My name is Dennis. Until the next episode, peace, and we're out. 1